All right. We are live on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. So this is a last-minute podcast because Monroe Falcons versus Old Bridge was canceled. I'm not sure why. We just found out as we arrived. But they're going to do a 3-on-3 tournament, and we're going to have a podcast, James and I. So, James, I want to start with the NHL All-Star break that starts today. We got Jack Hughes. You got Tom Wilson in place of Ovi because he has COVID. You got, who else is there for the Capitals?
Kuznetsov, maybe?
Kuznetsov, maybe. So, if we look at this Devils team, they're 15-25-5. They've been the laughing stock of the National Hockey League for the last 10 years or so, except for 17-18. What needs to change in New Jersey? Is it the coaching staff? Do the owners finally sell the team? Because it looks like Joshua Harris and David Blitzer does not care about this Devils organization. They don't care about winning. So where do the Devils go from here?
It's the ownership. It all starts with that. They only care about the money. They don't care about giving the fans or the players a great experience, which is why they aren't successful.
Why are the Sixers better and they own the same team? The Blitzer, Harris Blitzer, they own the Sixers. Since they bought the Devils, they've had one playoff appearance in 17-18, and that was the only playoff appearance that I've seen since the late Stanley Cup final run. So what's the difference? Do you think they just figure, it's hockey, who cares?
Yeah, that's probably it. Basketball, there's a bigger market, I guess. I mean, with the Sixers, you have Joel Embiid, who could be a potential MVP. So when you have an MVP on the team,
MVP winner,
that really changes everything.
So it starts with the ownership, as you say. 15-25-5. Same spot this time last year where they fell apart and they missed the playoffs. But we're used to that. All right, James, let's hear your honest opinion of the Seattle Kraken, who you said they would be a top 3 surprise team, and we did the Washington Capitals 2018, 2000. We talked about the 2018 Cup. We talked about the year after, and we did your 21-22 season preview. So discuss why this Kraken team fell apart.
Well, it's an expansion team. They don't have too many good players, I guess. Grubauer hasn't been too good.
And they have a former coach, Dave Haxtell, who was the former coach of the Flyers.
Yeah, their coaching isn't as good as, I guess, Gerard Gallant in Vegas.
And he's now a Ranger, and the Rangers have one of the best records in the league. Poor us Devil fans. So what do you think about this Falcons team? I believe they're 5-5-1. From what I've seen, William Berkshire has played most of the games. John Bono has been a key senior. Dylan Bacco is great. He moves the puck well, great captain. So what do you have to say about this Falcons team? There's a lot of young talent. I think the mantra that I created was the past, the present, the future is here. So what do you have to say about this young Falcons team?
Yeah, overall they're pretty good. They're decent. I think as long as they keep just moving forward, grinding, you could see some good outcomes from games.
Again, if you're just joining us, you're listening to a live episode. Well, they're always live, but we're actually at a hockey rink, not the Siravo Broadcasting Studio back in Monroe. You're listening to the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. James, Washington Capitals, do you think this is a team that could go on a run to win the Stanley Cup? Or do you think this is a team that is they're just there because the Metro is so good right now. You got the Hurricanes, you got the I don't want to say it, you got the Rangers, you got the Penguins. So can the Capitals come out of this Metro, or are they going to actually have to fight for a wild card? I mean, you don't have the Islanders there, you don't have the Flyers there, you don't have the Devils there, you don't have the Blue Jackets up there. So right now, this is looking like a 5-team race.
Yeah, I definitely see them making the playoffs. Do they get number one in Metro? I don't think so. You just have two good teams in Carolina. The Penguins, surprisingly, are still really good behind Tristan Jarry. And the Rangers, so it's going to be tough.
I'm pulling up the standings now. Shout out to the Wi-Fi here. Let's see. So right now, you got the Washington Capitals at 25-13-9. Ovi's breaking so many records. You got Hurricanes 5 games in hand there in first place. They're 31-9-2. Then you have the Rangers 30-13-4. Penguins 27-11-8. Capitals 25-13-9. So this is a team that is basically in the thick of that 1-3 playoff race. They're going to have to fight for that wild card spot, and that wild card spot, it's going to be a battle between basically them and the Bruins. Then you have Detroit 11 points back. You got Columbus 14 points back. Islanders, if they got on a stride, they're at 38 points, and then the worst team in the league you got for the lottery, it's between the Canadiens, Arizona, Ottawa, Seattle, of course the Devils, Buffalo, Flyers, Islanders, Chicago. So it's going to be an interesting race. Is that a Jack Eichel jersey?
Yes.
Speaking of Jack, do we know when he's going to make his Vegas debut? I know he's been skating.
I don't know. Probably he'll be back for the playoffs.
Do we think Jack Eichel gets the Vegas Golden Knights over the hump, and they lift that Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I can see that happening. Having Jack Eichel is definitely a kick, a boost to Vegas Knights.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Again, if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. As always, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we have much more to get to. And now we're going to discuss the Cincinnati Bengals right after this quick commercial break. Again, thank you for joining us on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We'll be right back. All right, we are live on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. So if you're watching on Facebook, you must be wondering why we're at a hockey rink. But, we were supposed to do play-by-play for the Monroe Falcons game today, but that got postponed. I'm not sure why, but that got postponed. So we're live on Facebook today. We're going to post the audio on Apple Podcasts as always. So if you're watching, I'm looking straight into the camera because I'm pretty sure it was me that predicted a Cincinnati Bengals Super Bowl run. I had people laugh. I had people doubt, be like, you're crazy. But I just believed in it, James. I believed that Joe Burrow was the hottest quarterback in the NFL, that he was going to lead his Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl. They are 1 win away. We are 1 win away. Tell me what you think about the Cincinnati Bengals team, and can Joe Burrow and this Cincinnati Bengals organization be just like Tom Brady and the New England Patriots?
Yeah, I don't know much about football.
Well, you're a Washington fan. You guys didn't have a team name for a while.
But, Joe Burrow has the experience from winning the national championship over at LSU. Even though NFL is a much more of a better competition, obviously, than college. But he still has that experience of going on the playoff run that he could use to help him get there and win a ring.
You think that would be the first of many? Do you see like MVPs coming along his way? Let's just put it this way: Hall of Famer. Do we see that happening for Joey Burrow, my favorite football player?
Not really. I don't see him being as like Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes. I just see him as at the level like Russell Wilson. Like, he's up there, but he's not the greatest.
I think he could be. I love Joey Burrow. Unfortunately for me, I'm a Florida Gator fan, so I can't really comment much. On his LSU career. Great football player, but Florida all the way back to the Tim Tebow days. So what does this Bengals? I know they have a bad offensive line. So what does this Bengals team have to do to win the Super Bowl? They're going up against a tough defense in Von Miller and Aaron Donald. Shout out to my former Giant, Odell Beckham Jr. He's in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Giants really screwed that up. But, what can we do? Hopefully this is a new start for the Giants. So how can this O-line protect Joey Burrow?
Well, first off, make sure you match that defense like they did in the KC game.
Down 21-3. Could have been 28-10, but they didn't get that first and goal with like 3 seconds left in halftime.
Like you said, they're down 11. They just can't give up, even if they're losing in the Super Bowl by 11 again. They still need to keep on going and believe that they could come back.
Oh, for sure. Let's get to the New York Giants. You think this could be a new start? Do they keep Daniel Jones? Do they trade their 5th or their 7th to get a quarterback like maybe a Russell Wilson, a Jimmy Garoppolo? Because those guys can turn this Giants team from a 4-win team to maybe 9 wins and hopefully compete for a playoff spot.
I don't know. I would maybe give Daniel Jones another shot. Maybe bring in some other key pieces to make him better.
I don't know.
Just because you have a good quarterback doesn't mean they're going to be a good team.
Yeah, but let's be real here, though. It's Daniel Jones. I mean, the guy had a great rookie year, throwing 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He just can't he keeps turning the ball over. And you can't do that. I mean, if we look at Joe Burrow, the way he played against the Chiefs game, there were so many times where he could have gotten sacked, and he could have lost the ball. Now, he got away from it. He got the first downs. And I'm looking at, like, as a Giant fan, if we're in those tough situations where we have this awful offensive line, we've had it since Eli. I think, like, 15, it got worse. You had Eric Flowers. You had all these awful... I don't even know half the players' names that we had on the offensive line. But if we look at this Bengals team, I think it don't matter how bad their offensive line can be. I think they have what it takes to win the Super Bowl, and I think they could win this game. But back to Daniel Jones, he could commit to turnovers, but at the end of the day, you got to win these games, and you can't make stupid mistakes, and the Giants have done that for many years since the Super Bowl in 2012. All right, again, if you're just joining us on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting, we have a few more minutes to go. We're going to discuss the National Basketball Association right after this quick commercial break, which is brought to you by Siravo Broadcasting. All right, we are live on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. If you are watching via Facebook, we're at a postponed hockey game, so they're doing a 3-on-3 tournament. We were supposed to do play-by-play for this team. Let's talk NBA. We normally do it when Andrew's here, but since you know a lot about the NBA, highly intelligent, you watch each game. You watch college basketball too to do your bracket. So what I want to know is about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is this a team that can make the postseason for the first time without LeBron James, one of the greatest quarterbacks? I mean, one of the great. I'm talking Joey Burrow being one of those greats. I'm talking about LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players. So what I want to know is, can this Cavaliers team go on a run? And I think we're only 2.5 games out of that first spot. You don't have that top dog where you're going to be like, oh, they're going to go to the finals. You have the Bulls, you got the Nets, you got the Cavs, you got the Knicks, but the Knicks have been up and down. What team can go on can this Cavs team go on a run? And if not the Cavs, what team can go on a run from the Eastern Conference?
No, I definitely see the Cavs being a team. You have a great point guard in Darius Garland, although he doesn't have really much experience in the playoffs. But then
none of the Cavs do.
But you have Kevin Love, right?
Yeah, we got Kevin Love. That's a good veteran.
So with his experience, his veteran experience from winning a finals with LeBron,
the GOAT,
and you have Evan Mobley, the rookie. He's pretty good.
Oh, that's a good save. So it looks like these could be the middle school guys, too.
Yes, I think so.
Because you got Berkshire, you got Consistenti. I think they're freshmen, but we don't have a JV team. I don't think there was a JV schedule this year. So, yeah, we have a few good veterans. You got Kevin Love. Jarrett Allen could be a veteran. You got Rajon Rondo. So the Cavs, hopefully, they do go on a run. They surprise people.
Definitely trading for Rondo was
that helps the locker room. But, yeah, I think Darius is going to be one of those elite point guards. Colin Sexton, they're saying maybe you could trade him for something. I think they want Karis LeVert, but that's a rumor. Let's get to college basketball. What team could go on a run and surprise a lot of people and win the national championship, or just make the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4?
So teams that aren't that up there, sleepers, I guess you could say. I would have to say Oklahoma. I watched a few of their games. They put up good battles. Memphis, they have Imoni Bates and Jalen Duren. They're not in the bracketology now to make it, but I still see them going. And Auburn's really good. It should be a fun March Madness.
Michael got stoned. What a breakaway. And what a save. I think that was Nico, freshman goalie. I feel like we're like the spit and triplets right now. We're actually live doing the show. We should do this more often. Just come to a hockey rink and talk.
Yeah, I guess.
So we're going to do up to the 25-minute mark. We got 4 minutes to go. So James, talk about your high school hockey career.
Well, when I first got here, there were 7 goalies. My first year, I only played, I guess, 2 or 3 JV games because we had that many goalies. Then the next year, we lost like 2 goalies. I played most of JV that year.
Yeah. I played a few games
That year
too.
we came up short of a championship, I think. The year after that, I played all JV and we won the championship. Then I played some of varsity, and we ended up winning the GMCs. Then senior year, I played like 80% of all the games combined. I played all JV games, and I played a good amount of varsity. And then that year, for varsity, we lost to South Brunswick in the game to get to the GMCs, and then we lost in the finals of the JV.
Yeah, I played like 2 varsity games, I believe. And then I played one of the JV greats for sure. I was for 17 record. You know, I meant that sarcastically. I was great because, you know, you broke all the JV records. So you're the one in the history books, James.
Yeah, I guess. I could have had better numbers my senior year for JV.
Yeah, what happened? You were in a slump?
No, I just gave up. I only played good for like 2 games.
Then you disappeared.
Yeah, you can see that.
James, the man actually talked today. Great, this is a good show. I think James is going to be my regular co-host from now on. We're going to have guys back in the future, you know, Mark Merrill, Andrew Mackin, Andrew Brown will probably come on. We're trying to get Kyle back. Going to try and get Eddie Stulak on. We're trying to get a few people on. It's going to be a good showing for sure for this Monroe team moving forward. Again, if you're just joining us on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting, bet like Michael Lepore. We got a few more minutes left, so I just want to hear James give his prediction for NHL, who's going to win the Stanley Cup, and NBA, who's going to win the title, Larry O'Brien title, and MLB, if there's a baseball season, who's going to win the World Series. So, James, give it a shot.
Stanley Cup. I'm probably going to just have to go with probably Vegas or Toronto. I feel like it's either going to be one of those. I think if Toronto gets past the first round, they're winning it.
Well, the Caps did that. They got past the second round and they won it.
For the NBA, I could see the Bulls winning it. They've had a lot of good games. They have a good team in Lonzo Ball, DeRozan, Levine,
LeVar,
Vucevic, I think. I could see them winning it.
MLB?
MLB?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll go with Tampa Bay.
All right, he's going with Tampa Bay to win the World Series. Again, thank you for joining us on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We do every episode in memory of our friend Mikey Lepore. May he rest in peace. This show is dedicated to you. You got a sponsor. You got a segment. So, Mike, I know you're above. I know you're smiling, and I know you're happy. I know you're happy with everything I have been accomplishing. But I know you're probably devastated about your Chargers. I know you're probably saying to yourself, they still can't win a big game. But your Chargers are going to win, Mike. They're going to win. You guys got a young, great quarterback in Justin Herbert. Offensive line improved. defense has been solid. They have a great coach, a great young coach. So it's just a matter of time, Mike. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your team that they win a Super Bowl. And I'm hoping that the Bengals do win. And I'm hoping that you guide me to win me some money. Because we know Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. Just don't guide me in the horse racing because, as I said on the show in episode 1, you didn't have that good luck. All right, Mike, thank you for watching over me, protecting me, and keeping me strong. Love you, pal. Wish you were here. Wish you were able to do another episode, but I know you're watching from above. I know you're with me, and we all miss you here at Siravo Broadcasting. Again, thank you for listening and watching the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We'll see you guys next time.